This is what I do every single time I go out on the water, and a lot of us know this, but sometimes we don't always apply it right away because we want to fish one of our favorite techniques, and that is I pay attention to that air pressure. Now that doesn't necessarily mean I've got my barometer readings all the time. It's just simple overcast, it's going to be lower pressure system. If it's very clear out, that means it's a higher pressure system. And if it's a high pressure system, I always start down on the bottom. Those microorganisms are gonna get pushed down. It pulls, the bait fish down there, and the predators are going to follow. In a low pressure system, it go ahead and releases some of that pressure. I'm gonna fish up higher in the water column. But the real key to both situations, and we know in a low pressure system, we're pretty, used to fishing a search type of a bait and covering some water, right? Because the fish are more likely to be spread out and cruising around. But even in that high pressure system where I want that lure down there on the bottom, I'm going to try to start with something that I can cover as much territory as possible. One of my all-time favorites, without a doubt, is the Carolina rig. If you have a lake or river composition that's a little bit harder, it doesn't have to be all rock, but if it's just got some hard spots to it, a Carolina rig is an incredible bait for this type of situation. I also like to throw a bladed jig and kind of just hop it and crawl it along the bottom, not a straight retrieve, but really work it more like you would a traditional jig. And then this is also a situation where I will get out those deep diving crankbaits and maintain bottom contact as long as I can when I have those high pressure systems. But really it's that simple. Low pressure, I'm fishing up in the water column with some moving baits. High pressure, I'm down in the water column on the bottom with baits that still cover water. And if I find them or locate them, then I've got my entire bag of tricks open. And speaking of finding bass, this is something that I think might be the future of finding bass, and Rick Clunn wrote a great article about this. So if you're interested, go ahead and check out this video right here, and make sure that you go out and encourage someone today. You never know how you might just change their life. For the Bass Fishing Life, I'm your host, Steve Rogers.